The Salzburg Ring, a traditional racetrack, ideally embedded in Salzburger Land. Here numerous racing battles were already fought on 2 and on 4 wheels. Formula cars, touring cars and GTs usually abound on the twisty asphalt ribbon. But today, there are some unusual guests. Rally cars from the 70s and 80s, from the most glorious and wildest time of rallying, the souped up to extreme Group B cars. Peter Freising, Salzburger rally enthusiast with the best contacts in the scene, calls for a meeting with the former competitors.
We are doing this for the first time in Austria. We have about 10 to 15 Group B and Group 4 vehicles. A few years have passed and one still thinks about those times. One still has the sound of that time in the ears today, whether it's a Fiat, Lancia, or whatever they're called. It's brutal, and it was the coolest thing there's ever been in rallying.
Line up for the first demonstration run, but unfortunately the famous Salzburg drizzle seems to have settled in at the track. An improvement in the weather conditions is not in sight, and organizer Freising takes it easy.
I would say it's both lousy weather and rally weather at the same time. For the audience, it's crappy, but for the rally driver, madness. It is slippery, you can drift, everything you need for rally driving.
On a specially constructed track, consisting of parts of the circuit, access roads, and the pit lane of the Salzburg Ring, the drivers can accelerate to their heart's content. And those fans who dare can even spend a few demonstration laps in the hot seat and take the seat of the co-pilot and enjoy the real rally feeling. In addition to the 4-wheel stars, a 2-legged competitor also attracts the interest of the fans. Walter Röhrl, for many the best rally driver of all time. He's not only a former driver of Group B, but also a fan of this rally era.
That was the highlight of this sport, which will also never return. This can be seen even today when the Group B cars show up somewhere. People are crazy about it. This is the great happiness in my life that I was able to experience this epoch. That was fantastic. And if I can sit in a car like that again today, I will feel the same as I did 25 or 30 years ago.
As newly crowned World Rally Champion, the Regensburger moved at the end of 1981 from Fiat to Opel. His set of wheels, the newly developed Ascona 400, a competitive rally bullet in the former Group 4. Röhrl drove his second title in the World Rally Championship with the Ascona. And with that, he became the last world champion to win this title in a 2-wheel drive vehicle. The approximately 280 horsepower Ascona is not regarded as the fastest car, but one of the most reliable in the field. Röhrl and the co-driver Christian Kaisdorfer competed in 10 races, winning 2 of them and occupying 6 other podium finishes.
The toughest rally from the strain may have been the Safari Rally because of poor roads. A rally which I hated. From a driver's point of view, there were several more beautiful rallies. The Monte Carlo, a great rally, if there was snow. The San Remo was a dream rally. New Zealand, only gravel and not one pothole. There were a couple of really great events. For the driver, physically the most difficult was in Corsica. Tarmac stages up to a length of 120 kilometers with huge slicks without power steering. You really knew what you had done there.
1983, the Opel Works team competed with the Ascona and Manta 400, but without Walter Röhrl. The team from Rüsselsheim in Germany could only achieve one victory in the World Rally Championship. '83, Röhrl switches to Lancia, a mid-engine sports car with the name Rally 037. Derived from the Lancia Beta Monte Carlo, is uncompromisingly designed for one purpose only: victories in rallying. The Lancia Rally 037, a wedge on four wheels with 320 horsepower. A Roots compressor blows up the Fiat 2-liter. The Rally 037 is one of the last rally cars with only rear-wheel drive. Even today, it brings pilot Röhrl into raptures.
The fine art of driving a car is with rear-wheel drive cars. There's no discussion there for me. Since the Lancia was for me the car par excellence. It had 320 horsepower because you have always to consider exactly how to feed the gas and how much force you can put on the road so that one does not just drive across or the wheels spin too much. Then the car was the most beautiful I've ever driven from the point of view of the optics. Everything was fine, even for the sponsor. I said that year, I'm not going to the World Cup, but I will drive in the 5 most beautiful rallies. The best time I've experienced in rallying.
Of course, Röhrl does not miss driving a demo lap at the Salzburg Ring with a 037. But the Italian diva is temperamental. It does not like the wet weather, and the Regensburg rally pilot has to go back to the pits. Repair attempts in the pits, and Walter Röhrl keeps his cool with his long experience as a rally driver.
The Italians say, we have to build a car so that if something breaks, we can exchange it very quickly. The Germans say, we build a car where nothing gets broken, but something always gets broken and it takes an hour to repair. That was often the problem.
Despite only sporadic use and the superiority of the four-wheel drive Audis, Röhrl achieved the Vice World Championship. With a rear-drive car, no more championships can be won. With the Quattro, Audi set new standards in rallying, but even a Röhrl has problems initially with the bulky handling of the four-wheel drive.
Two things. On the one hand, I've always fought to have more traction. I wanted it to go forward. This topic was perfectly mastered with the Audi. There was enough traction. However, this car could steer only relatively poorly. That comes from four-wheel drive at that time that didn't work like today. The front wheels have to transmit drive and steering forces. Also, the response of the turbo engine was very problematic. I was not used to that under so much steering movement that you couldn't feel anything. In the Lancia, I hardly steered much, that was all. For me, that was weird, getting used to 3 months before the Rally Monte Carlo, until I really understood that I have to brake with the left foot to persuade the car to steer. Back then, you had to learn to brake with the left foot. Nowadays, everyone can. That comes from karting. Previously, we said that you need 3 cars before you can do it. This proved to be true with me.
The Audi Quattro in rally sport. This era begins in 1981. Quickly, the four-wheel drive shows its superiority on gravel and snow. In 1984, everything comes together that should come together. The Regensburger Röhl, the best German rally driver, joins the Audi Quattro group from Ingolstadt. With his exceptionally dominating and controlled driving style, he sets new standards in the Quattro. Already with the first rally for his new employer, the Tall One, as he is respectfully now called, achieves a victory in the Monte Carlo. A great start, but perfectionist Röhl is not satisfied in the Audi in the beginning.
Still, every 20th curve does not work, so I'm not happy. Normally I drive a rally of 5,000 kilometers and only 2 curves don't work. I still have to practice hard.
Röhl and Quattro, cult in rallying, the true heroes away from the tracks, however, are quickly forgotten. The mechanics from the service crew make the rally cars which are flayed in dust and dirt fit again.
A rally is full of events that you cannot foresee. Michel Mouton was very brutal. Walter Röhl was sensitive. For Michel, if there was a rock lying in the way, then she just drove over it. They then came in the pit stop on 3 wheels, and you had to replace a McPherson strut at the front again. So throw it out completely and install a 4th strut again. This never actually happened with Walter.
A young fan gets the honor to drive a demo lap with a 2-time world champion. But this time Röhl has bad luck. The Audi Sport Quattro S1, a 600 horsepower replica of his former works car, fails. The high-tech all-wheel race car needs to be towed back to the pits, and active times, the rally professional would have been livid. Rallying has always had its victims, not only material ones. In 1986, those responsible created the spectacular Group B class. The vehicles sweep over the course too fast and unpredictable.
So far, no master has fallen from the sky. This is felt by drivers of rally cars at the Salzburgring. But the owners of this historic rally gem no longer need to compete in the Monte Carlo Rally as well.